What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be breaking down The Flash's Season 9, Episode 11 trailer. So yeah, guys, let's just go ahead and get right into it. So the trailer starts with Iris talking to the rest of Team Flash about Barry's disappearance, as we see a big board that says, "What happened to Barry?" at the top of it in the middle of Start Labs. And obviously Iris is still pregnant and very close to giving birth to Nora, so it'll be interesting to see what else happens with that in this episode as well. We then see what appears to be Keone breaking into her own home. I'm not really sure what the deal is with her, but she's been a very bad character this season, just a pointless character. So honestly, I don't really care a whole lot about what happens to her in this episode. So then Team Flash is somehow able to figure out that Barry's disappearance wasn't an accident and that someone is coming after them, obviously being Cobalt Blue and the Blue Crystal, and all that's followed by a look at Rick Cosnett's character, and apparently he won't be called Malcolm Thawne. He will be called Malcolm Gilmore. Now, Malcolm Gilmore is not a character in the comics, so what I think they'll do on the show is that Malcolm Gilmore will find out that his real name is Malcolm Thawne or something along those lines, and that he's somehow related to Eddie Thawne, who he just learned about in last episode. At least that's one theory right there. Now, next in the trailer, we hear something very interesting. We hear Speed Force Nora tell Iris that she can't find Barry anywhere in the universe, obviously because Barry is being thrown around in time by the Blue Crystal, which we assume is connected to the negative Speed Force somehow. They sort of teased that in episode 10, but there wasn't any like real confirmation, I guess, but it's, you know, it's pretty likely that it's connected to the negative Speed Force. Now, what we see next is the Flash Missing Vanishes in Crisis article, which, you know, is really cool to see, but Barry vanishing in last episode wasn't really in any kind of crisis. He just, like, randomly disappeared. And plus, the article still says exactly what it said when Iris wrote the first part of it, right before Crisis on Infinite Earths, and it still has the date of December 2019. So maybe this is just like a reuse of a scene from season 6. But you know, I mean, I guess it could be, you know, from this episode as well. But I'm not exactly sure what's gonna go on with that. We'll just have to wait and find out. But yeah, nonetheless, it would be so cool to actually see the article and have another full circle moment on the Flash. And I think if they could still pull this off, that would be another awesome way to do some more fan service this season. Anyways, next we see Malcolm Gilmore seeming to have flashbacks of the Flash's season 1 finale where Eddie kills himself. Now, unless the Blue Crystal is making Malcolm see this, is it possible that this is Eddie and his mind was wiped and this is him like recovering those memories? I mean, that would definitely make sense as to why he's digging up Eddie's grave in these set photos here. Maybe he's trying to like see if there's a body in there so he can confirm that he's not Eddie Thawne who's been mind wiped and revived. And then, you know, if there isn't a body there, he can assume that, you know, he is Eddie Thawne and he's been revived. So that is really interesting right there. I guess it's still possible this could actually be Eddie Thawne, but revived by the Blue Crystal and placed in the year 2049 with a new name and profession. And then he would eventually become the new negative Speed Force avatar, aka Cobalt Blue. Now, going back to the Flash Vanishes article, we see Iris talking in the Time Vault, and I almost wonder if this is her making her new Flash Missing Vanishes article, but instead of writing it, she's saying it to Gideon, just like how Dr. Wells used to do back in the Flash season 1. So it'll be interesting, you know, overall to see what happens with the article in this episode. And then lastly, we see Speed Force Nora looking like weak and exhausted, which could happen at the moment that Malcolm Gilmore becomes Cobalt Blue, which would mean the negative Speed Force has found its next avatar. I think that's definitely possible. And then yeah, with Malcolm Gilmore seeing just these flashbacks of Eddie Thawne, it's looking like, you know, this episode is when Cobalt Blue will be born. Now, this episode does look really interesting, but the one thing I'm worried about is the lack of Barry. We didn't see him in the trailer, and he's not really mentioned a lot in the synopsis, so hopefully this is like, you know, he's still in a good majority of the episode. But nonetheless, the Cobalt Blue stuff starting up is going to be absolutely amazing to see, and yeah, I really hope they do him pretty well. And honestly, I'm still mind blown by the last 2 episodes. The Reverse Flash, you know, full circle moment with them going back in time to that night, and the Oliver Queen stuff in the episode before was both just so cool to see. So hopefully they can continue the really good episodes with episode 11. This episode, you know, like I said, does look all right. Hopefully it's, you know, better than all right. But yeah, I'm really excited for the rest of the season after we just got those 2 amazing episodes. But anyways, I'd say that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure to comment your thoughts on this video down below, as well as your thoughts on what else might happen in this episode and in the rest of Season 9. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.